Affirmative is a positive word. Consent is obviously about whether you permit something to be done.
Have to actively say yes.
Ask them everything first, straight away. You're not going to do anything without asking.
Both of you are equally on the same page about going through with sexual relations.
Seek out yes, and there's less confusion in grey areas.
I guess having a conversation if they're okay to go through with having sex.
That the other person knows. The onus is on them to know that the other person is consenting.
You have to actively seek consent, not just assume it based on their behaviour.
Speaking to them, asking them, consent is ongoing.
It's got to be you have to be into it the whole time.
Someone is totally 100% right, then it should be considered as a consent.
An unsure answer or anything is considered a no.
There is a mutual understanding that you're good to go with.
If they want to have sex, I guess you have to have a conversation with them about it. You just do. You have to really think about it before you go through with something like that.
You could ask someone, do you want to have sex? Yeah. That seems like the most obvious way.
Just ask someone or say what you want to do or say what you need.
Oh, are you okay with this? Are you sure?
Ask maybe if the girl wants to have sex, make it pretty clear to her that if she does want to have sex to tell me yes, or if she doesn't, no means no.
Some people probably shy away from that because it can feel like it interrupts that kind of passionate intimacy, but I think that naming it and asking the question really clearly is a great way to get it clear.
Do you want to go to the next step? Do you want to go further? Do you have any protection?
People always see it as this big formal thing, but it's in the little things. It's are you okay with this?
There's nothing wrong with just asking, do I have your consent?
And double checking as well, triple checking.
And then it's yes, I'm free, no, I'm not free, are you interested?
So that you know 100% and you can't just assume.
Not you're pressured into it, and both people can talk about it.
By asking them and understanding their feelings, then that's how you can truly get consent from another person.
When you haven't consented to something, there's obviously those feelings of shame.
Lots of us have grown up talking about sex in a really shameful way.
We have a culture of not really talking about deep things in Australia, so I think these new laws are encouraging more conversations.
If everyone talks a bit more about it and, gets more around it, I think that, yeah.
The more people can have healthier relationships.
Both individuals in the relationship, they get to enjoy one another, I guess.
Having consent makes it obviously more enjoyable for both of you.
I think trust is the most important thing that you could really feel, and make sure that you feel comfortable that you're not doing anything that you don't want to do.
I think a lot of people feel uncomfortable when things are assumed.
Rather than having a bit of a grey area. It's not just about an absence of sexual harassment or sexual violence, it's about enjoying sex and women's pleasure and men's pleasure too. I think it would be a positive for general, especially as a teenager, just to feel more comfortable and the topic's less taboo and it's more two-sided. If you're intoxicated, you can't do consent. If you were asleep, you definitely can't provide consent. If you're too young, you can't provide consent.
If someone's drunk or used drugs or something.
If someone's unconscious or sleeping, that's just taking advantage of people.
I would find it a bit questionable if, for example, you're hosting someone at your place, if you start making advances towards them in that way.
Or if you've been sort of manipulated.
You're not in a rational state of mind.
And they're being influenced by other factors like the alcohol or the people around them.
They consent to sex with a condom and the other person secretly doesn't put on a condom, that would not be consent. When you've got a teacher and you've got a student, even though you may be over that threshold of 16, there's still that power imbalance between the people.
If you feel a bit threatened by the other person or if they're in a position of power, you might feel pressured that you need to say yes to consenting.